Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson. This is the Tabletop Experiment, episode 51. This is Dragonlance Part 42. I am joined by Jesse, who's playing Martok, and then Fade, who's playing O'Grady, Christian, who's playing Swami, and Todd, who plays Yuriel, had some things come up. They might join us later, but all bets are off. I'm not promising anything. To recap where we went, or what happened last time, was you guys finished Wakenwreth. You left Wakenwreth with someone else, a mage that was stuck in the Shadowfell called Mergwen. And Yuriel knew who he was. They had basically been in the same kind of elvish settlement together. And you guys set up camp. You guys needed to rest after O'Grady almost died at the Onkel, I think is how to pronounce it. It's a big demon dog. I put the link in the chat. It's a big undead dog with an open rib cage that kills a lot of stuff. Maybe an Onkelok. I don't know. Anyway, it almost killed O'Grady, which was terrible, but fun from my perspective, but not so fun if you're O'Grady. Everybody decided to set up camp and rest for the night. You took the rations off. Everybody took a long rest. And Mergwen looked at your map and said, and you guys kind of, if I remember right, agreed to go to Camp Clay was like your next objective. But Mergwen suggested, hey, I know we built a teleportation gate, and I know how to get there from here. And so I don't remember, and I did edit the episode, I swear, what you guys had decided. And I think I cut that out of the episode, and I didn't write it down. So what did you guys decide as a group? Do you remember if you wanted to go straight to Camp Clay or go to the teleportation gate first?
We were. I was trying to remember what we decided.
Yeah, me
It
too.
was.
Or was it...
I think it was the teleportation because that was the most next thing that we needed to
If I
do.
remember right, Mergwen, which, again, this shows how great my notes were, Mergwen mentioned that it's on the way, or I know how to get there if you guys are going straight north, because if I remember right, Yuriel had told him this next mark on the map is north. This is Camp Clay. We've heard the most about this place. We should go there.
Mhm.
And he said, "Oh, well, the gate is on the way."
On
And
the way. That's right. Yep.
and
Yep.
then he
Okay.
said, "Perfect." And then I edited that out of the episode because I think that was after I said it, and that's what will end the episode. And then I added all that, and so usually that's when I stop. When I record all that, but I cut all that out. Whatever. Anyway, I think I cut it out. The most important part of the episode I cut out. That's right. So now people are tuning in to see where we're going. So yes, that is what happened. So what I'm going to do, it's on Tailspire. Are you guys on Tailspire? Or are you just watching the stream?
I'm watching this stream. I can get on Tailspine.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Let me, gonna do this. Atmosphere.
Oh, Tailspine requires an update.
Yeah, they did a festival update, so you get to see like Christmas presents and stuff for minis, which is pretty cool. Okay. It is morning. I'll do players. Summon players to board. Oh, are you not in yet, Jesse?
I'm getting. Yeah, it's just logging in.
I did put you guys in a position of sleeping, but that, like, you're knocked out, but that's just because you're sleeping. So here, I'll undo that.
Nice.
Boom, you're awake now. And so is Uriel. So yeah, there you guys are. You guys kind of wake up in the morning and stretch. I've also redone some of the rules for the travel we were doing. I tried to lay them out a little bit better, and I will send those to you guys probably after this week. I kind of did an order of operations because it was getting confusing in my head, making you guys roll. Okay, you roll this and then roll this, and you get advantage. And so I tried to do, first this person will roll, then this person will roll, then, that way we know everybody is clear, or at least I hope, for me at least, it's clear on what's going on, because there is benefits to rolling well. So I don't want to screw you guys over because I don't understand what's going on and I made the rules. That's really bad. So
Yeah. Since we have a sort of a downtime, finally it's loaded. Maybe we want to. I have an alchemist kit
oh, okay.
supplies. And I was thinking maybe we'll take the opportunity to like forage for herbs. You
It,
know, Grady is a druid, right? So that kind of
Yeah.
if you give me
and
just a second, in the new DM screen for 2024, they have a chart for how to forage and what you need to roll. So give me one
nice.
second to go grab it. I didn't know this was going to
Oh,
happen.
nice.
1 second.
So that my plan just for you is that you will go forge stuff, and then I'll make things, and then we'll just see if we get harassed maybe during the day or something. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's kind of a you and me episode, right?
So are any of you guys are you guys keeping track of how many days you've been in the desert? Because if I remember right, it was cuz I had to redo the chart. It was only a few days between Wrecker's Edge where you landed and like a day or two to get to the Elven encampment. Then it was I did the math. It was a few days. I'm just trying to see how long you've been in. I got my uh
I
yeah
I could go through. Go ahead.
so yeah, it was yeah. Okay, so it was 2 days to get to so I would say 4 days plus what it took you to get to Wakenwreth. So Wakenwreth, if I was to look at the map, which is right here. What happened to my? Oh, did all my stuff go away? No. Uh. Exploring. This is really fascinating. Recording stuff. So. Uh. Okay, so you're there. All right, yeah. And so to get from the Blue Phoenix Shrine to Wakenwreth was 1, 2, 3. It was 6 days. So it's been what did I say? 2 days there. So 8, 9. We'll say 10 days right now that you've been in the desert.
Okay. Um.
I just
So
want to get a sense of how long you've been here. It may affect your roles, especially if O'Grady's going out to forage. You have been in the desert for a few days, and him being a druid, he may get used to like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a plant, or whatever.
so how many days total?
10 right now, 10 days. So I don't know if you
10
want to.
days.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's all my rations. I have literally 10 days of rations plus
Well, you
two
got the fancy ones, right?
fancy meals, which I haven't
Well,
used yet.
somebody had 14 or 15 days of rations because I you guys have
It
been
was Swami.
you guys have been using them as you've been going. You'd have to look at it may be Swami. Somebody had a buttload of rations that I already
Yeah.
used and took off. So
Yeah, I think Swami had some. I think we should probably have one of us, the players, keep track of all the rations. And
right.
we just sort of delete and say, hey guys, we are low on rations. Like
Right. Well, that was
Probably.
that was actually in the travel thing. That is someone's job is to
oh,
count right
all right.
here. Where is it? Uh yeah, right here the guide. The second order of operation. You're in charges of all the decisions concerning what route you take, rest and supplies. So even though that changes, you could still do the same thing like you guys are talking about we want one person. Let me just we could do it too where like cuz you guys were all buying rations like separately. I don't know if there's going to be much traveling. Maybe we could work this out in like an in-between episode, but like hey, if we're going to travel, you're the food person. We're going to give you all the gold, you're going to
Yeah.
buy all the food, you're going to hand it out and we just go to you because you guys were all buying rations like separately. And I've been taking rations, and I still think Swami had. And I already took those 6 days of rations because you already made it to Wakenwreth. So whatever you have for rations is what you have. I'd say right now, and
Oh,
Swami has what he has because
Right.
somebody did deduct it when you got there. I think it was Swami where I was like, hey, take this many days, and I think he had 18 days of rations or something at the time, or 20 something. He had
some ridiculous.
he had a crazy amount of like food on him. So it was like, oh man, like you got a lot on you. He had because he had two columns. he wrote it down twice, but he had like 20 rations per column or 10 on one and rations. 8 days on one. So he's got 8 days of rations left. Oh, and he has a bag of holding, doesn't have anything in it. That's fine. He's got a backpack. Anyway, who was it? Somebody had. Oh,
I have a bag of holding.
well, he had more than 8. So he took out what he had for Wakenwreth because it was 5 of you over 6 days or whatever. So
yeah, he took out like quite a few. I thought.
yeah.
Removed.
So he's down to 6. How many do you have? You said
I had 10, but I removed 2 just now, and I have 8 plus 2 fancy meals.
Why'd you remove the 2?
Because I thought I was removing 10, so I just deleted the thing. So I'll add them back.
Yeah. I'll say this, we'll just do this. Whatever you have for rations right now is what you have because I know people have been deducting rations. I know Yuriel and Swami has. So we'll just say what you have is what you have right now. And then if I request anybody to take rations off, somebody will have to raise their hand and say, all right, I'll take 6 rations off or however many people are traveling with us, whatever. But
Gotcha.
if you are the, let's see here, go ahead.
If it helps, I could do something kind of streamlined here.
The hunter as well, the person in the travel thing, when you hunt, you can actually do either foraging or hunt for food, and there is a pass and fail thing, and like a critical success and a critical fail. So whoever is the hunter, I'll say that they like find, because you guys have been seeing more animals up here, so maybe you see a mule deer. Or, you know what I mean? To be like, oh, that I could cure that stuff. That's a day's worth for all of us. Throw that on the pile or whatever,
Gotcha. No. What I'm trying to get at is that I could do something like a Google Doc that we can all access and edit, and then we can just centrally keep track of all that stuff. We'll have the roles, so then those roles will do their roles and add it in. And we'll play that out here,
right?
And then, but we'll. In the cases, someone's missing. Hey, we need rations. How dead are we?
We don't want to starve to death.
I guess we don't eat that day. We could do something like that. I don't know if everyone has. Like, a Gmail
well, like I said, the hunter also it's their job when you guys set up camp. He goes and looks, or he could do it throughout the day. I'll say so. Like whoever is the hunter for that day will be like, hey, give me a roll to see if you find anything or whatever.
Yeah. So I'll create that and. I don't know if I have everyone's email, but I'll share it just openly, and then we can just use that, and I'll put in some stuff.
Yeah. How many days of rations do you have, O'Grady? Were you the one that had like 20 days? Didn't somebody have like an absorbent?
No. I'm apparently out of rations.
You've been bumming off the good graces of everybody else.
I guess so.
I know Martok. He's been taking them off. I'm just checking Martok right now. Again, this is thrilling streaming content when you look through a player's inventory that isn't here to say I have rations. Oh, you know why? He's got it in his. Yeah, Yuriel still has 12 days of rations. That's why. Yeah, so that's why Swami had so many rations, because he had 2 itemized things of rations. So when I took away one, it wiped out one of the line items of like, and then he had another line item with like 8 rations or whatever in it. So, I mean, I think too, like, like I know I gave you guys a bag of holding, but yeah, you should just make someone the food master of like, you have a bag of holding. This stuff is meant to not go bad. Take 30 days of rations and then just start handing it out at the end of the day or whatever, So I do like the idea of you guys being on the road though and having to dig through your bag of holding going, I got 4 days of rations. I got one and like trying to like, I got a Tic Tac, like trying to
that's it.
Trying to bring it together.
Rock.
Yeah. Oh no, that's bad. Something like that. So the sun comes up in the morning. You guys are all well rested. You took a long rest. You did watch. It all went successful after Wakenwreth. It's actually, even though Wakenwreth was haunted in a way, it was a tomb. And as you've seen when you left it, it was starting to repair itself. It's still kind of like eerily quiet. And Everybody give me a perception check, actually, or the two people that are here. Give me a perception check.
Perception. Got it.
It like froze up on me.
Yeah, it does that. If you refresh the browser, it'll pop back open. 13 for me.
You guys notice? I mean, that's double digits. You guys do see that it's still eerily quiet, but you have seen some birds like landing on the top of Wakenwreth, and like some kind of, you saw like the shadow of like those desert foxes kind of in the hills around Wakenwreth. So some animals, after you guys killed, lifted the curse basically and took it out of the Shadowfell. Kind of life's not getting back to normal, but it is definitely improving. It actually doesn't look as bad too. Mergwen. Oh, it did it again. It did it, O'Grady. You rolled twice. That's
Yep,
fine.
I just got it. Okay.
You got it and then rolled again because it wasn't coming through. Yeah, I've done that before. Where you're like, dang it.
I refreshed and then everything started going and then it refreshed and I was like, oh my god.
I've done that too, where I get impatient and it doesn't send it, so then I do it again. It's like, why did you roll 3 times? It's like I didn't do that. If somebody wants to forage, you can forage, and we'll see what you what you find. Let me know. Who wants to roll? Oh, Jesse, do you want to roll, O'Grady, since you're here?
Yep, I will.
Survival. Survival.
Survival. Ooh, that's my specialty.
Nice.
Even with a 6, though.
I got a chart. Don't worry. You find through foraging, although animals have come back, they're still very skittish. So when you approach them or try to, I don't know if you're going to try to hunt the mule deers and things you see in birds, like they're very skittish still, but you're able to forage like berries and things and like edible nuts. You find 2 days of rations, like that you're able to kind of put together out of what you find as you forage.
I gotta go. Right. I'll be back though.
Okay.
Be back there.
It'll just be O'Grady and I just.
O'Grady, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, oh wow, his thing popped out. I thought he was gonna like disappear. So yeah, this might be real short. I didn't think everybody was gonna leave. So yeah, you come back and you find it. You see Adric like repairing his armor, and you see Mergwen like gets up later than anybody. Like he wakes up and he's like, I apologize. I haven't actually slept in a while, so yeah. Are you guys? Are you still thinking that everybody wants to go to the teleportation portal, or do you want to go to this Camp Karen Clay that you were going on about last night? He kind of looks at everybody, and you see like Yuriel's kind of looking down at the map. Martok's kind of like up on a hillside looking up, and you see Adric just repairing his armor. Swami's checking through his spell components. What do you, O'Grady? What do you want to talk to him, or are you going to let someone else?
I think you were talking about wanting to go to the teleportation thing.
He's like, excellent. Are we okay on food? I don't have. Oh God, I don't have food.
Oh boy.
He said,
Well, I mean,
you're like, great, another mouth to feed.
Yeah, but it's all right. I just foraged up 2 days of rations. I can share one.
He's like, I guess if I have to. Yeah, let me look something up really quick. He's like, well, do you guys need anything? Do you need anything before we leave, or can we take off?
I think we're all done here, right? There's nobody here.
It's just me. I'm all alone. No. He says because I think if I was to. He's like, if I was to look at a what the heck, my PC is just wigging out all of a sudden. He said, if I was to look at a map, I think I can get from here. We can get to the gate in about 3 days.
About 3 days.
Yeah.
Is he looking at a map?
Yeah, he is. He's looking at
Like, let me take a look at that map. I might be able to find a better route.
Okay. Do you want to do like a
Um,
survival check to see if you?
yeah, do a survival check. Oh man, got a 10.
10? Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah,
really.
10.
That's not great. Um,
Yeah,
he's like, he's like, no, and he kind of looks over your shoulder, and he's like, I think maybe this way. He goes, you see this right here? It's not really on the map, but there's a canyon here. Listen, I'll just, how about I guide? I know about where I'm going to, so let's go. And he takes off, and everybody kind of follows from there. And so what I'll do, since everybody is missing, I'll just I'll say that it's 3 days, but since it's only you and
yeah,
him eating and are here, I'll say that, well, it's just you. What I'll say is you guys will get a freebie since nobody's really here and everybody took off. I'll say for 3 days, just take off 3 days of rations. And then, did you have no rations? Do I need to take that off of somebody else, maybe?
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need one more day from somebody because I've only got the 2 days
I'll take it off. You know
that I
what?
forged.
I'm going to take it off from Swami because he is not here. And take three.
Let me mine. It's mine.
Yeah. Um, where is it? Oh,
I do this.
yeah, I'll take 3 days off of. There we go. I'll take 3 days off of Swami here. Inventory. So I'll take 3 days off. That's weird. It totally deleted. Here we go. Okay, I'll have to add to equipment. There you go. So I made it good. So he took 3 days of rations off, and I'll say you guys split that up, and it's a little bit meager, I'll say, in the road. It literally is rationing. After 3 days, can you give me we'll do, since you're here, we'll do you're the lookout. So go ahead and give me a perception check while you guys are on the road.
All right, we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, finally a good roll.
You you see kind of like on the edges of, like, you guys are kind of like walking through canyons, and you see out of the corner of your eye, like, they don't see you, but you see another contingent of dragon army soldiers moving north. You see about 4 of them, and they don't, like I said, they don't see you, but you catch them while you're on the road. Mergwen and I'll say Yuriel, since they're chatting, are kind of guiding, and you're kind of like the lookout on the road, is there kind of like, and you see that. So I don't know if you want to
All
alert
right.
the group or,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be letting everybody know.
all right. Give me
Okay,
a
yo.
give me a stealth check with advantage, I'll say, while you guys are, um,
All right. All right.
that's
19.
much better. The 8. You guys, without being able to slow your pace, if you're watching the stream right now, everybody makes it to the front of this gate, and you did not alert the dragon army. Your keen perception and the fact that you told everybody about it, they were able to slow down. And with Mergwen knowing about where it is, it doesn't take anything off the journey for you guys to be here. And this is where you kind of end up right in front of this gate. And it looks just like this. And you see Mergwen. He's like, I told you, we made a gate. This is very old, but I think it still works. And you see those orange stones like you see on the stream. They're kind of hanging, and you see these arcane symbols, and you can read them speaking Druidic. They're kind of like rubbed like sideways and like marked up. And he's like, oh, I was always with someone when we activated this gate, so there's got to be something. He looks at you. He's like, you worship the old ways. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Oh yeah, I'm fluent in this.
Yeah, yeah, I do every Wednesday. I have oh man, if I see another gate, I'm gonna puke. You know what I mean? You're just like he's
Yeah, I know
he's
this.
he says he said
And then before you ask, yes, all druids know each other too.
all furbogs know each other. That was a joke. I was listening to Critical
Yeah,
Role and they made
yeah,
that.
all the furbolgs.
Yeah, that was a joke. They ran into a character that was a furbog that was like a guest character that only was on an episode or two, and then one of the main cast members made a furbog, and they're like, "Do you know each other?" And he's like, "We don't all know each other." And they're like, "That's good." Someone in the group is like, "That's kind of racist," and he's like, "No, it's not. I don't know furbogs." Like, and he's like, "No, we're just like everybody else. There's a lot of us. I don't know everybody. You know, like it's a big joke." He's like, "Well, stop being racist." So you see these sigils. I'll let you do. What's better for you, nature or arcana?
All right. Do, 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 do.
What's better for you? Your stats.
Probably, yeah, nature. Nature.
Give me a nature check, and you're really going into this blind to see if you can kind of suss the symbols out. You see some. I'll use the light function on here. You see some kind of like down on like laying on the ground too, some like stones in one side. It's almost like a six-sided dice. They have a rune on each side, and you see some like empty ports to like they perfectly fit. Nature 17. One of them you're like, this looks familiar. One of them you look at a few of the runes. The ones up above are scratched and kind of spun sideways. But some of the runes, when you start looking at them, knowing Druidic like you do, two of them separately spell out Haven. So, like, if you were to line them up left and right, like Haven, like, is in Druidic, that's the one that you're able to, like, suss out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you did decipher one of them.
Can I check out the other one?
Well, yeah, one of them says Haven.
Mhm.
The other one says, uh, the other one says, it has an ancient symbol. Can you make an Arcana check for me to see if you can figure out what it is?
Yeah. All right. Nice.
Hey,
19.
it actually says it's an old word in I'll say like Sylvan, which is like a
Mhm.
ancient Elven, like it's in the Feywild. It says home, but it's written in Sylvan, which again is like the language of the Feywild. You're like, oh,
Mm. Odd. Haven.
haven and home.
Yeah.
And you see Mergwen come up and like look at them, and he's like, well, this one here is yeah, it's this one just says hearth. I don't know what that means.
Earth.
Yeah, like a fireplace
Yeah.
hearth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
He's like, I
Do we need fire?
he's like, you see him think about it for a bit. He's like, that's actually not a bad idea. And you see him kind of reach behind the stone and lift up and pull out like these old braziers made out of stone.
All right.
He's like,
Well,
what would you like to do? I mean, all these are good possibilities, but I mean, I don't. It's been so long. He said, to be honest, I just listened to whoever I was with. They told me what to do. Once we get inside the chamber, I can totally help us from there. But I'm a little blind when it comes to getting in this thing.
I do an investigation check on this on the gate. See if I can
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
figure anything else out. All right. Not so good.
What'd you get?
7.
7. I mean,
Yeah.
you being alone, you're like stumped, and you're like, this is, even though the bluster that you had before with Mergwen, you're like, this is a pretty nice gate. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty elaborate. I like it. Um, yeah, he basically just says like, um, he said, oh, whoops, sorry, one of my notes is reversed. Here we go. There we go. So yeah, he's like, he said, which do you want to, what do you want to do first? Uh, he's like, or, I mean, are we all going at once, or do you want to maybe go on one at a time to make sure, or he's like, to be honest, let me tell you, I'll tell you what I'm used to happening. Just so we're all on the same page and everybody kind of gathers around.
Mhm.
And he's like, you insert the runes, you light a fire, and then this will open, and you walk into a chamber, and that chamber has 4 doors, one for each direction, and there's something we have to do when we're in there, but I'll go over it there. I just want to keep this as simple as possible because it's been a long time, and I don't want to screw this up. So, any questions?
I don't know. I guess we'll figure out as we go. I think we should probably all go in.
Okay, so we're together. That makes sense. You see everybody kind of nod, and we'll just say for the purposes of since everybody is here, clearly that they all agree that you're like, yeah, this is what we're doing. So which stones do you want to insert? You got 2 slots next to you, and you see Mergwen go over, and he's like, which one do you want to do? And I'll light the fires here. And you see him pull some stones from his alchemist pouch out, and he's like wiping his hands. He's like, let me know.
All right, so I got to put these 2 stones in.
Yeah, one in Sylvan says home, and the other one says hearth, and the other one says haven. So there's 3. The other ones are like I said, they're like 6-sided dice. So it's like they're different. Like one is on either side, and then one of them is like you spin it, and it says, and the other ones are like cut up, broken, cracked, right? So
Yeah. Let's try Haven, I suppose.
okay, all right. You put haven in there. And all right, let's do this. You see, like when you set it in there, it starts glowing like a purplish blue, and it's that same color that you saw in the catacombs when you were fighting Lord Sarlamir. When you saw the things of Soph,
Yeah.
where it's like that purple flame kind of lights up, and you see Mergwen does like a flint or whatever over the thing, and you see that same purple flame like light the brazier on fire. And as soon as those 2 things happen, you see the rune on the front of the thing light up, and you see like the door here. I'll do that. Whoops. Like right here, you see it like just become like a purple vortex of like flame. And when you touch the flame, it's cold to your touch. But whoa, what the heck? But yeah, that's what happens. So it like swirls around like a big gate of fire, basically, right in front of you.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Well, you see Mergwen like look at everybody," and he's like, "I'll go first. Don't worry. When you come through, there should be a chamber."
Okay.
You're like, I'm not even Catholic, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna pray. Do you
Yeah.
do you
I
step
mean,
through?
should you want to take some rope? You want to tie
Hold on to
yourself up?
this. He's like, I'll be
Yeah, tug
fine. You
two
see him just like
times.
waving on. He's like, I'm fine.
All right.
Do you want to walk
Go
through?
ahead and can we come back? Can we come back through, or is it a one-way thing?
Like right before he steps through, he's like, yes, there's a way to come through. And you see him look around for a second, and he pulls. You see him. You see like one of the stones that's in front of the gate, like right off of this like glowing purple flame. Like one of the cobblestones is like cracked, and you see him reach up and grab a piece. He's like, take a piece of this stone with you before you go through. Just a small pebble, nothing big.
Yeah. I reach over and grab a pebble.
Pop it off. He tells everybody to do the same, and they do that. And then he goes, I'll see you on the other side. And he walks through the thing.
All right. And then I follow suit.
You're going to go? Okay.
Yep.
You put the one for Haven, right, on there? Sorry, I didn't write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Um, you go through the gate, and when you oh, whoops, let me switch boards. Sorry. Boom. See it on the stream?
Hmm.
So yeah, you see, you kind of come in. Let me do this. You guys come in, and there's. I don't think I did. I put your guys. Yeah, I didn't put your guys' mini here. So what I'm gonna do to not. I don't want to sully this up. I'll say it's Mergwen, and then you come through, and right in the center here, there's like a. Are you seeing all this on the stream?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I
there.
see it.
So when you guys come through, it's like a burst of like that purple flame, and then it dies down, and you guys walk through, and you're standing in this gate area here, and you see the doors that are right here on either side, north, south, east, and west. And above you, I couldn't really do it. I wanted you to have some light. This whole area, like these flames right here, I couldn't really change it, but they're all burning with that like purple flame, like the pre-cataclysmic flame that you've seen before from the catacombs. So it's like a weird dim purple light, but it doesn't like your dark vision doesn't kick in. It's like you can see perfectly fine, and you see these fire pits right in front of the door, like you see like right here, and they're here, and
Okay, yeah.
there's one in front of every door. And he says, "Good, we're through." And for all intents and purposes, everybody else is through with you. He says,
Mm.
"All right, well, so." He's like, I believe, and he like he pulls another pebble. Oh, Jesse, you're back. So,
Hello.
you guys, just to recap for Jesse, you guys figured out that the teleportation gate had rune stones in front of it that said certain things. O'Grady was able to figure that out. He stuck one of the stones that said Haven in this gate. The gate opened up in that purple flame. Everyone decided, because no one was there, but O'Grady and Mergwen decided to walk through. Are you going to do that as well? I mean, because Mergwen's like, it'll be
Sure.
fine. Yeah. O'Grady's like,
fine.
are you sure that this will be whatever? So you guys all walk through. I'll put your mini right here. And what happens is, I'll just do it right here. Let's see. Hero Forge. Link to campaign. There's Martok.
And my Tailspires is waiting on GM.
Oh, sorry. Let me summon you to this board. Players. Yeah, and it should be. There you go.
There it is. So many eagles.
Oh yeah, for the heads of the. I didn't realize that till after I got done putting it together, and because I got one section of something and then like moved it around like a puzzle. A lot of eagles. A lot of
It'd be
eagles.
cool if they're gargoyles. You click something and they all wake up.
Yeah. Ah! I thought this place was safe. So what we'll do is
No,
say
they're
this.
dropping stone feathers.
Oh, yeah. They just throw a feather at you like a
Whack.
ranged weapon. You're like, ow, man, that is a magic stone. So you come through. One thing I forgot to mention is before you went through, Mergwen is like, see this stone here that was on the gate? He's like, there was one of them that was broken and loose. He's like, just take a chunk of this on your way in. So O'Grady did it. He did it. So you have a chunk of like the gate stone, basically.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Um,
Does it do anything special that we know, or
So Mergwen was trying to be very simple with getting you to here, and then he was going to explain how this stuff works. So because he wanted to make O'Grady was trying to figure out like how everything worked, and I was probably explaining way too much. So as the DM and as the NPC, I was like, okay, you need to stop talking and just let him figure the gate out. So now that you're in the gate, you're in the area. So Mergwen comes through, and Martok, what happens is a big burst of that purple flame from like the pre-cataclysm flame you saw in the catacombs, and you burst out right here in the center, and you kind of like come out of the flames, and the flame dies back down to just like smoldering embers. And Mergwen's like, okay, I suppose we're all here. I'll just say that it's crowded in the hallway. That's what I'll say. Everybody's here. I'm not going to put the minis in there. But he's like, okay.
this is like a gate chamber that's all gates?
He's like, you usually, he says, as you could see in front of each, mostly in front of most doors, there's a ember. Just like this. He goes, we came through here, so we're facing this door. But see this? And he walks over and points to this like little charred area. And he's like, that's like a little fireplace. Okay. So he said, I think I know where this Camp Cairnclay is, or very close to it at least. So he pulls out of his component pouch a pebble, and he's like, I believe I've been to that place before. This is an old pebble from the rocks above. He goes, if you offer it to the fire, and he goes, but here's the deal. And you see him reaching around in his pouch, and you hear something break, and he says, who's here? And he gives it to you, O'Grady. He gives you a purple, like, flint stone, so you can like make that purple fire, since you're the one that figured out the ruins. And he's like, don't worry, it won't be used much, but if we want to get here, you have to light the fire, or I do, and we have to throw this in, and then you go through the gate. But there's another way. And as he says that, I forgot to tell you guys, because I didn't want to make this map too dark, but all above you, it's just like when you were in Wakenwreth, even though you're supposed to be on the top floor of Wakenwreth, well, here, all that's above you is just constellations and stars, like a clear, starry night all above you. And he's like, this is really, you can go anywhere you need to go. But there's another thing. And as he says that, the light catches the floor. And you see, just like in Wakenwreth when you were there, since it was a tomb, there's these old coins on the ground. And he says it's everybody says that it's disrespectful, to disturb the dead, but I found this place, as long as you don't anyway, he picks one up, and he's like, if you want a way to get back to somewhere, like an emergency, somewhere that is safe, a campground, you can do it once. This burns up in your pocket, but if you need to get out of somewhere, you can use one of these. And he picks up one of the coins and puts them in his component pouch. He says, but to get.
What does the coin do that's different? Like, why does the coin work?
He said it takes you to a place of safety, like a home base. Like, it was always an emergency when we were scouting. If we saw something that was if we were far away from our haven and scouting and we needed to get back quickly, we would use we knew where the gates were and would use the coin, and it would send us right back to the haven. It was like an emergency thing, but we didn't use them much because he says, I don't know how true it is, but some people say these are for the dead and they're only to be used in emergencies. So that's why if you take one, be very careful with it. Make sure not to lose it. He said there's also another possibility. Many people of my kin would they like to gate travel, meaning they didn't have a location. Sometimes they would just light the fire, think of something, or have a parchment in front of them, or a ripped piece of map, or maybe something that their grandparents gave them, and they would walk through the gate. And they said this would take them somewhere unique and different. And many of the people, at least a few of them, were kind of enamored with traveling like this because it was very unique. Now, they used many of the coins, but I think you'll notice, and what he does is he lights the fire in the center again, and he takes the gate stone that he ripped off before he walked in and he throws it in the fire, and you see it is not burned up in the fire, and he reaches in and pulls it out. And he's like, as you can see, many people would go through the gate, travel, somehow either use the coin or this. Like he goes, we had powerful mages that could create a cataclysmic flame, and they'd throw this in there to get back to the gate. He's like, does that make sense? I'm sorry, it's been a long time. It's been many years.
Uh, yeah, I'm not
So
really following along so well. So the rock thing, when you burn that, if we just back up to that, it's just an item or an object from that location, then transports you to somewhere in that location. Is that kind of how that works?
If you have something from that location, you can travel there. Yes. So
And then there's
the rock we have is from Camp Karen Clay. So I think I could get us there. He's like,
and then the other things are like exceptions to the rule. So that's like the main rule.
right. He
And then
says,
you have like a return to home base coin.
he said
And then
it's supposed to be an emergency. Yes, the coin is for an emergency, and it takes you back to camp. Most people thought of somewhere safe when they picked it up. And so when you do that, it'll take you back to camp or somewhere that you think is safe. In fact, he goes, I don't want to be bold, but if you guys, if Yuriel told me right, you guys came from Calamane, you could probably go back to Calamane with it. There's a teleportation circle that the mages were building in their office.
gotcha. And then is the object that returns you to a spot just any object, or does it have to be a stone?
It has to be from the spot. It could be, he said it could be anything. It could be sand, a painting, a piece of door, anything from that location will take you there. The problem is if you're going to go and he breaks off a piece of the flame or the flint, and he goes and he hands it to you, he goes, if you're going to go through, take this. It's the only way to start the ancient flame. You can do that, make the offering, and come back.
Okay. And then what was the last part where there's something about?
Oh, he's like, some people wouldn't know where they were going, but they'd have a relic from a friend or a relative. They would make that an offering and walk through the gate and see what would happen. Sometimes it would take them back to their ancestral home, because he said one story was a young man that I served with, his grandfather gave him a lute, and he took one of the strings off the lute, made an offering, and ended up on a cliffside. And there was a home there, but there wasn't anymore, so he was a little scared. But he came back to the gate and told us all about it. So if you're feeling adventurous, if you have something from a location that you want to go to, or you just want to experiment, which is what many of my people did, being an elf, you have a few hundred years to do that. So you get bored.
Gotcha. So if I put some ale on the fire that was from that was brewed at Calamane, which I do have, that would take me to Calamane.
Yes, you would end up, he goes, I'm not supposed to know this, but in the Shadowfell, for some reason I could see long and far. And I know that in Calamane, the mages of High Sorcery are building an office, and underneath, in the basement, they're building a teleportation circle. I'd imagine you'd get there.
Gotcha. And they have to do this at a teleportation circle.
Well, it'll take you to the nearest teleportation circle. So this will take the gate stone will take you to the gate, obviously, because that is a circle. Uh,
Right.
and there's ones all over. So maybe just mark down
Yeah.
where the gates are, where you pop out the other side.
Got it. Okay. Very cool.
So
Yeah,
Joe and Mergwen are asking, is that clear? Does that make sense? I will probably write this up and send it to you guys. So,
that makes sense now. Now I get it.
yeah. So you have like a get out of jail free coin. You have a stone from the teleportation gate, so you can always get back to the gate. Once you use the coin, though, um, it doesn't burn up, but you can only use it once. So
Got it.
that's why there's a lot of coins on the ground. Like people, it's like take a penny, leave a penny. Like people will use one and then leave it in the room, and then this is a magical place. Maybe after some years, it becomes magical again, and you can use it. Who's to say? It's not like I came up with any of this, but yeah. So it'll be like, and then if you want to go somewhere, if you like you said the ale, you could put the mug in or dump the ale in, and you'd end up in Calamine, like in the nearest teleportation circle or whatever.
Gotcha.
And
I
if,
could just use a cup of ale. Just
you
dump it
could,
out.
well, the ale you could put the keg in there, because
Put the cake in it. It's
well,
great.
it wouldn't burn up, but it's just the offering. But yeah, you don't want warm ale. So yeah, that's how it works. And again, if you want to explore the gate, you could just pull something out of your pocket and go, "Where is this from? Let's see," and run an experiment that way. Plus, if you guys have stuff on you that you're like, "Where did this come from?" You could drop it in the flame and be like, "Let's go."
I was
But
just
um,
looking through my inventory for that.
Yeah.
well, I mean, not to like give you a hint, but you did get an item. You could definitely be like, "Oh, are you muted, Jesse? Did you mute yourself? I think you muted yourself."
Yeah, there's thumbs up and
Oh. I was like, it died. Everything died. So it looks like everybody's gone. What I'll do is so is there a particular place you guys want to go? Or are you thinking about it or
Well, I mean, we're still headed to that the other spot on the map.
Camp
We're
Karen?
now at this Camp Karen Hell.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the stone, so you could get there within him just making an offering and
Right.
walking through the door. So,
Can I pick up a rock here?
uh, oh yeah, if you wanted to, but that's why you took the rock from the outside, the pebble that was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's the same material, quote unquote. So it's the same thing. It'll just pop you inside here.
Gotcha. Okay. I was thinking like from a normal teleportation, we could use that and then end up here, then go wherever we want. If this is like the hub.
Yeah, I mean, you could return here with the stone. That's why he showed you when he burned the stone from here. It didn't burn up in the offering or anything. It stayed a stone, so it's always like attuned.
Reusable.
It's a hearthstone basically. It's always attuned to this place. So as long as you start whatever, you'll always end up in the room or whatever.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's continue on to. Let's go get the others and go to Camp Karen Hall.
Okay.